In the celestial sea where stars align, Lockstitch will go where wonder lies. Its specialist crew a beacon of light, will work to unravel secrets entwined. Lore with her care and lust for life, turning the cogs in her curious mind. Scales that tell stories of times long past. Deep in the echo, her interest is cast. Starborne Melody echoes in the deep. An ancient history, now our secrets to keep. Sail on a siren with feathers adorned, seeks to maintain her graceful form. A voice that weaves tales across the sky, relaying the dreams that never die. Rennick the brain with numbers and might, forearms for eyes in the cosmic night. Stoic and with numerical grace, in Lockstitch's crew he has found his place. Starborne Melody echoes in the deep. An ancient history, now our secrets to keep. Pollux and Castor, the skillful pair, always the team with starry hair, with a bond so strong in the vast expanse, unveiling the secrets in cosmic dance. Starborne Melody echoes in the deep. An ancient history, now our secrets to keep. Starborne Melody echoes in the deep. An age-old mystery, and Lockstitch holds the key.
Alright, everybody, welcome to episode 11 of season 4. So, we're picking up a couple, probably like maybe a week after yesterday's game. Like a lot of people, like if you are settled in Haven, that's perfectly fine. If you've gone back to Silver Thimble, that's perfectly fine. So we have been getting a lot of trade going throughout the world. And like you guys were also very much robbed. So set up the fact that like we are trying to get trade with the Turmeric Outpost better under control. We are trying to get trade with Haven better under control, but we know that there's pirates in those waters. Like we know that because we saw them. And Peanut believes he has come up with a good plan. Let's switch to introducing the players. Right. So, we have Prophecy of Zero playing Caram.
Pleased to be here.
We got Soap playing Cash.
Good evening, all.
We got Seth playing Seth.
Howdy, hope you're doing well.
And we got Ray playing Zacna.
Yo.
So, we'll get it started like... It'd be good to put like Peanut on the map. He is not coming with you, though. He is just kind of there. So, like Peanut has called you all to the dock, and like he's called you onto a ship, and once you all are on the ship, Peanut is calling out to you from the dock. That's not true. He does not like boats. He does not like open air boats. And Peanut was very specific to Caram, like bring your spice trader outfit. And he's just like, good, you're all here, all right. Caram, good, wearing the outfit as requested. And for the messages to Zacna, Cash, and Seth, you each got a message that said, wear a disguise. Disguise yourselves as merchants.
Mm-hmm.
How are you disguised?
That is a conundrum.
Two of us here, it's going to be a little difficult to cover certain appendages. Robes, probably.
To be complete, like, just to be very clear, like, a disguise, like, you guys can say whatever it is, and it's going to work as a disguise. You are not the only person with tentacles. You are not the only dragon person. Like, it's not, like, don't worry about making it hard on yourselves. It can be very simple. And also, like, whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be robes, sure, but just don't worry about, like, the logistics of it, you know? Like, the trueness of it.
Okay. My outfit is made with it's a lot of leather. Or not, like, heavy leather, but there are a lot of pockets. A lot of pockets and buckles. So I can put things in the pockets, and because a merchant needs a lot of pockets. But a hood, too. So, a lot of pockets.
Well, what Cash should be wearing would be something very similar to Rom's, more or less wearing a hood and a mask over his face, or a mask or a scarf over his face to hide the most obvious aspect of how he looks.
I actually have no clue as to how to effectively disguise Zacna.
You could always take a letter from me and have lots of pockets.
Yeah, that is
You
true.
could- If you're down, if you just want to roll a 20-sider, we can just, like, see how effective it is without you describing it. I'm down for that, too.
Alright. Let's see. I'm still not used to the new UI for 11.
Alright, so it is a convincing disguise. Alright, how do I think Peanut sees the fact that Zach didn't show up with a costume, and he's just like, alright, with a disguise, he's like, don't worry, I got it for you. And he comes out with, it has a very, like, ruffly chest. It's like a nice suit jacket, and it has a white powdered wig. He's like, you are disguised as a lawyer, as a dragon lawyer, by the way. It's like, you notice that, like, Peanut has thought of everything. Inside, it has a nice place for your sidearm. Like, your death hand will fit nicely in there. He has, like, he's hidden multiple knives around your spot. He's just like, all right, taking care of this. And obviously, based on, like, the costumes, I assume you all might have an inkling of what's going on, but we can't talk about it outside of it. You leave tonight. In the next 15 minutes, this ship begins to set sail, and he pulls out a map. And he's just like, obviously, we are here at the Silver Thimble. We have, and he like motions to the cargo, and he's just like, we have a massive amount of goods, both from like Reedy, we're delivering some motorcycles for Cat. Fish Tinger has included a couple, not full forklifts, but some things that can make life easier for them down in Turmerick's outpost for the rebuilding, and some things that our new friends at Haven are looking for, specifically some baked goods from Reedy, and we're shipping an oven. It's like, this is all mostly a ruse. The things are still on here. Like, there's tons of valuable things on this ship. But I'm looking to lure out whoever tried to sink Bammon's ship. Like, we need these passages to be as safe as possible. It's like, we're looking for a way to be able to ship to Turmerick's outpost without going across the land, like without going down that accursed elevator. Peanut is also scared of elevators, I've decided. So we're taking the long route. He posts to all three of you, and to all four of you. It's just like, we're going through the Silver Mountains, coming out in folk song, and the plan is to make our way past Obsession and into the strange waters of Tefrates. So it's like, I know you're all gonna be excited. Stay with the boat. Stay with the boat. It's just like, then we go into Tier Loh, make it through Tier Loh, come out the Sickened Sea, and then it's straight on to Alkali, and then further on into Haven. Just like, at any point, you could be beset by pirates, monsters, any number of things out there. We want that. We're not trying to discourage. We want to see what the common sailors might deal with. So try to keep your presence mostly down. Protect the ship, obviously, if it comes into problems. But the mission is, can this be a path that we use regularly for shipping? He looks at Caram. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Somebody about to say something.
I was going to ask, about how long does this take, this entire trip?
This is probably looking like a month-long adventure.
Oh, goodness.
Oh boy.
You have to travel hundreds of miles.
We're going through 6 signs total on a ship that is not made by us. Well, it may have been, but
The ship is... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, even if it was made by us, it was not made to travel as quickly as the sub or the airship. This is meant to be a shipping vessel, not a combat vessel.
I think that despite the fact that not being a combat vessel is why we're going for sure. To fix that problem, I'm assuming. But good lord.
What other crew are going to be on the boat with us?
The crew is... we have... And he, like, moves you guys into the captain's quarters. It is stocked with... employed by folks mostly from Dyad that are making the rounds. They helped build this ship with Fishtinger Industries, and I think Fishtinger. I don't think Lockstitch had any hand directly in the building of this ship for specific reasons that they don't want. Peanut does not want them to think that this is a Lockstitch ship. They wanted to think it's a Silver Thimble ship. So if anybody hits it, then they're not hitting it because they hate you guys. They hate it they're hitting it because it is what it is. The captain of the ship. This is Bully, Captain Bully. Like, he ribbits, like, they know who you are, but they have been instructed to stay out of your way, and they will listen to commands of, like, getting to safety. But they are not fighters. They are merely a shipping crew. And then he's like, nice, Peanut. Then waves to Seth, and he's just like, Seth, this is why, like, obviously, we know why Caram and Zacna are here. Mostly protection. Like, we need somebody to deal with anything possible, like, threats from a distance, and we definitely need somebody to deal with threats up close. And he, like, points at Zacna for the distance, and Caram for up close. It's like, as long as you two feel like you have your sea legs.
Well, it's been a while since I've been at sea, but I think I can handle it.
It'd be fine. Wouldn't be the first time I've been in the water.
Excellent. And of course, we need a doctor. And like points behind him to Cash.
Mm.
In my head, I'm wondering if like your hearse is in one of the shipping containers, so that we can just have it in Haven.
You know, I wasn't gonna. I was wondering if that would be something. I'm honestly sure that it probably is somewhere
sure.
on the ship.
Absolutely, and you guys have enough time to like pack up some stuff really quick if you want to. I know. I said we're leaving in like 15 minutes, but Seth, he leads you into a room where Peanut's like, the crew doesn't get to come in here. This is you, and you alone. If anybody gets in here, take it as a threat. And he puts in a combination onto the thing. You all can see the combination. Like, he shows you each the combination. He's like, memorize it. I'm not going to make you roll to memorize it or anything. And then as he opens the door, you see a lot of monitoring equipment. All of these balls, like, hanging from the ceiling, they each are glowing teal right now. Each one of them, as you're in the silver thimble. And Seth, you would recognize that they have used a lot of the technology that you and Rennick made for the like jukebox thing that controlled the storm, and they combine it with the anomaly detectors that, yeah, you can basically read magic to a degree. You can read magic levels. And Peanut's just like, Seth, this is why we need you here. We need somebody to follow these. There's something strange going on. I've gotten multiple reports of, and he like pulls out his notepad, an increased sense of adventure in the world. People not caring as much about their own safety. Increased spottings of what were once considered mythical monsters. In folk song, that's fine. We understand dragons and griffins and all of those exist in folk song, but we've been seeing them all over. We have concerns that we have multiple concerns that the alchemists may have caused more troubles than we thought with their tearing holes in reality. Then he looks back. It's just like, oh, and speaking of, it's just like the alchemists have tried to rob us at Haven. We know that they are searching for null metal. Voice has confirmed this, so we have got. And he's just like pulls out a box that's just like, it's just a box of null metal bullets. It's just like, we don't have any straight raw null metal anymore, but we do have many bullets. So hopefully we can use them as some form of bait.
Do you want me to bring the null metal vault door I have?
No, I worried that they know that the crew had that, and they would know that the crew is involved.
Alright. I'll leave it in the thimble then.
Are there any questions?
Not that I can think of, but really I appreciate you trusting us with this.
Since we are traveling with something that the alchemists are looking for, is it going to be left out for them to be able to grab, or do we want them to make them work for it so we can take care of them?
We're gonna store it with the rest of the cargo, and then he takes us to the cargo section of it. Look, look. That's the cargo manager. His name is Vice. He wears a hat that looks suspicious.
Don't mention the hat.
Mm.
Don't mention the hat.
I mention the hat all the time. Vice, your hat looks dumb.
It kind of looks like a nipple.
Vice shakes his head. He's like, it was a gift from my granddaughter.
Oh.
Oh.
No sympathy for him. Look at that hat. He knows what he did.
At least be polite about the hat until after we're done.
Peanut just like eyes narrow looking at Vice. I fucking hate that hat.
You know, it may be, man, it's a lot more rude to say such a thing in front of someone's face.
Peanut's like, oh no. Me and Vice, we go way back. He understands that I mean this with my whole chest.
I could also blame it on the fact that lower inhibitions are going on around the world. Mm-hmm.
No. He was wearing that hat before, and he knows what he did wrong.
I only question metal because if we're also transporting my hearse, I'm sure it can be put in there because they're sure as hell gonna have to work for it if it's in there and the doors are locked.
Peanut's like, absolutely. Well, we're in one of these containers. What else are we transporting? Like, people in the chat too, what else does a silver thimble have that we want to ship to either Haven for trade, turmeric outpost for good, materials to build. Like, what does the silver thimble have in abundance that we could be sending to these places? Like, I know, like, right now we got stock standard building materials, like sheet metal, like, not scrapped because the people of Rue are really particular about they do not like to use recycled metal, turns out.
I can think of one thing. Another thing we would have on there would be film reels for Haven.
Yeah,
I guess we are starting that theater up, so that's good timing for that.
Let me add a note that the ship is highly flammable now. Let me just real quick. If you
Let me
guys
make-
ever seen film reels go up? They fucking go up.
Let me make
Yes,
it worse
they do.
then. I think that from the building on the other islands, we've gotten plenty of lumber for building as well.
Right? Absolutely, yeah.
This is a really big ship, then. I'm assuming if it can have.
Oh,
Multiple...
I will.
It is
show
a
you.
cargo ship.
Yeah, you guys are like
There are a lot
not
of different
oil
sizes.
tanker size, but like it's big. Like,
Like size of
Like,
a
this is-
trade ship coming from like across our ocean. One of them big things.
there you go. Now we're closer to scale.
Yeah, this is not small.
Well, there's no ice in these waters, right? No reason.
You guys have never fully been to the waters of the other places, but none of these are cold climates.
Are you sure, Alan?
Yep.
Didn't Osiria make some were quite cold?
Oh, they fixed that.
Okay.
That was a very temporary thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And that would have been way down here anyway.
Oh, okay.
We could bring some canned foods. Midnight had mentioned that to me about we could bring canned foods.
They have plenty of food because Haven because of what Flynn did with the trader from Haven, they have tons of food. They have plenty of it. And also, there was a giant, absolutely enormous shark that they've been eating
Oh yeah.
and making fish jerky out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I remember
It gets
that.
cold if you guys plan on going the Sonnery path, but like, I don't think you're gonna get anywhere if you go. Hold on.
I was gonna say, if we go the Sonnery path, the only place that'd be way too long of a trip around.
That would end up being not profitable at all in the long run. Or as profitable.
That and
Like, that
knowing
would be the
stuff's
path.
Sonnery, that would be a mistake.
Yep.
Or like, no, wait, this is also a path. Like, I don't think it's wide enough to get this ship through, though. That way also leads to Sonnery.
Every road leads to Sonnery.
But as far as navigation goes, you guys can like make your path, and obviously there's really not a ton of options here. Like if we want to go all the way around, like you gotta like at least do. I turned myself to purple. I don't know why. Like we gotta like do this situation. I don't. Also, the little hump down here. Ignore that guy. But you guys can tell me. Like, go ahead and draw like the path that you think is safest, or the path that you think we would take. If you got, it's a little paintbrush over there.
How will we get down that waterfall?
You wouldn't. Not in this.
Especially not in this.
Yeah, I would say this
Not
vessel's
without
too
the
large
ship
to do that.
breaking up.
Unfortunately, I think that path is the only option right now until we can get further, like, have more maps to develop new routes. But until then, I think this is our only route.
That or making any kind of arrangement with other cities to do like canals and things like that to be able to get down, or other
Maybe I
places that
have
we
to
can't get to
terraform.
without going all the way around.
If we were to get a canal, that would probably be to the south of Folksong, and that would probably take out the like path that goes around Gaia's garden.
Yeah.
That should be something that we look into coming back. It sounds like something that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, that would cut out probably like at least quite a few days if this route continues to be used. Or at the very least, it would allow a route to, I don't know what the place south of Folksong's called.
That is Tier Loh.
Yeah, I think that once we get more going in Tier Loh, we can discuss that with them, because that would be an easy transport of cargo if we have trade going between us and them.
Yeah.
I think that until we can get more going in the Silver Mountains, I think that we have to go all the way around, as there's no other routes yet.
Oh, sorry. Because it's not close together, we have an aqueduct that is big enough to get this ship through those mountains.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
I knew
Okay.
that. Like the path that I really thought is like this, going through here, and then all our stops. And I was just discussing later on aqueduct going through here, and perhaps even down here, to make travel easier down the line. But I think until that can be put in stone, that might be our only path right now.
And to be fair, it's better we should go through and see what this path even is like, as we're supposed to, without having to make any knee-jerk reaction of ways to make it shorter, because hell, this route could be, regardless of how long it takes, could still be rather viable. It's just we don't know what's here.
I think the main thing is, I think the main points of worry will be, I'm going to use red for this, here, And then from here onwards, because we know for certain that there's pirates in the waters from there onwards. But Folksong, I don't think we will run into many, if any, issues. I haven't heard anything yet. And we don't know much
you didn't
about...
hear the rumors yesterday?
No.
Folksong is having not like Yoke itself is not a full-blown civil war. Like that's not like, but there are rumblings. Many adventurers upset with the current leadership of the guild.
Okay,
and the direction that the guild's going.
So
Oh boy,
I think
civil
until
unrest.
so through Folksong, we don't know 2 areas. So we essentially have one somewhat safe rest point that we know for certain. Oh boy.
I mean, isn't the colloquial term with our wonderful crew, heck it we ball? I'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we ball. Any other details, Peanut?
That is the truth.
Let's see if Peanut's heard any rumors. Any other rumors that Peanut doesn't like to talk in unsubstantiated rumors. 13, absolutely. He has heard of he has heard that there is a massive danger in the Sickened Sea. That now that many of the lippy crabs have been destroyed, other predators have been making other smaller predators have been making their homes in the Sickened Sea, and it is very dangerous. The oiled obviously the Sickened Sea has become a real threat, mostly to smaller ships. You guys really shouldn't have to deal with it too much, but if you see something out there, Peanut would like you to play exterminators in the Sickened Sea, if you could.
Alright.
That's
Just
why you
remembering
got
about
me coming along.
one other threat that's there, I think that we should take, since this is going to take some time, stop. I'm going to use green now. Here before the Second Sea, and here due to the snake that's there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that we don't have to travel anytime during the night around where it hunts.
I also have a counter question. If we, at least since we are going to be close to Dendroid, do we have any way to contact them to let them know that we're landing there? Since we don't want to just show up. That, and if there's any reports of what you just mentioned, would they hopefully be able to relay that back to us?
Peanut says that in the room to study the magic, you guys is studying quarters. Basically, there's a bunch of stuff here in this room, not just the magic detectors. You guys will be on this fucking boat for quite a while. There are tables for cartography stuff, if as navigation, if Zacna wants to draw what we've been through and stuff. There are sections for writing. There is a medical table in here, as well as a small lab. The ship also has its own doctor and their own medical quarters. So this is more this section is for when you get medical problems the way that you guys get medical problems.
So one's more of the everything. If this is definitely a totally not suspicious vessel, and this one's more of, yeah, this is for the stuff that only those who know how to take care of it can take care of it.
Basically that. It's just yeah, you go to that one if your tummy aches. You come to this one if you're poisoned by the demonic magic. Seasick, sees inside of your body trying to consume you from the inside out. You know.
You know, just normal things for the crew. Normal things.
It's like, oh no, this person fell off the boat and they swallowed a bit of too much of water. They got some water in their lungs. Great, normal medical thing. You guys fell off the boat and you swallowed a water elemental and it's currently trying to puppet you like a skin doll. That might be a different medicine situation.
Well, any of you three have any other questions before we head out?
Not really.
No, I'm quite satisfied.
No, as long as we can get in contact with the places we're going to land, just to prepare.
Oh, that's where I was going with that. My bad. Like, this is also your radio room. Like, they have a radio on the ship that will contact the nearby places. Denjor doesn't have the same, like, radio technology as you guys do. So they basically have loudspeakers to communicate with them from the coast. You all, if there is an emergency, can use your radio. But Peanut's just like, I need this to be blackout unless you absolutely need to contact somebody. Because we know the alchemists are watching our radios, our communications. So only use this if you need to. It also will function as a little tower as long as you remain on the boat and don't go anywhere for more than like a mile off the boat. You are safe. Nobody who has any concern of like, well, he's just Katori or Squishy. It's just like, and we don't want any of that to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with you guys if you do not have your communicators on you. So, keep your communicators out of sight, but on you at all times. You should be this is GM Alan telling you, you will be perfectly safe as long as you stay on the boat. You guys can get off the boat up to a mile, like I said, to like investigate the cool places that you're about to see. But any further than that, it's going to be like your AP is draining, and you guys remember what happened to Akon in like the second episode of this game, right? Of season 3.
Yep. I was right there with her.
It's like, it'll go real bad for you if you lose your AP to 0. We have not seen Finger Dogs in a minute. Alright, so how do you all prep for it? Like, if Peanut gives you 2 hours to go grab everything that you need and get back on this ship, what do you guys go and grab? But real quick, before we do that, Caram, as you make your way to the deck, you see Alt climbing over the side of the ship with a rucksack over his shoulder. And he just like, he plops down like right in front of you, but he thinks he's being stealthy. He doesn't see you see him.
Caram just slowly walks up behind him and just grabs the back of his shirt. Alright.
Definitely squawk!
Did anybody else sneak on?
He drops his like sack and it hits the ground, and a loud thud, just like thud. It's like, yeah. Hi, Caram. I just thought I'd help. I was just being helpful. He's just like, so I heard word that you might be getting out, like this ship was going, and I put 2 and 2 together. I saw you like putting out your fancy spice clothes. I get it. I know what's going on. Secret mission, right?
Caram just sets him down, looks to see what's in the sack.
You see, in the sack is a revolver. Like, so heavy. Have you guys ever seen, Snatch? The Guy Ritchie movie? There's a very specific scene that I'm thinking of. This guy's called Boris the Butcher, and he's constantly trying to sell people a gun. And he's like, heavy is reliable. If it doesn't work, you can hit him with it. That is basically the gun he has. It's just the heaviest fucking handgun for no reason. And then he's got a pocket knife. He's got a couple lemon bars, like in their plastic, not like home baked. He bought these at the store. She's got a couple honey bars.
I hate to interrupt, but lemon bars. Whenever I hear lemon bars, I have to say that, and I have to say it like that. I'm sorry.
I don't get that reference, man.
It's a Minnesota reference.
Oh yeah, eh? Don't get me started, please.
Are lemon bars a big thing in the Midwest?
I don't know. I've actually never had one.
Is Clem from the Midwest?
That
Clem-
would be interesting.
Busting down a door with his heavy, like honey hammer, made a giant axe out of the honey, hugely ferocious, like dripping, just like foaming at the mouth. It's just like, what y'all doing? Don't you know? I can't do that accent. I don't know it.
Oh my god.
It's like I'm just picturing that one actress from. She's in the Billboard movie, but she was also in Fargo.
My brain's drawing a blank on that. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm fixing to do a dang old smackdown on you boys. Frances McDormand. Like, she's great. Alright, sorry. And the part of Alt today will be played by Steve Buscemi.
Which I knew
How
who
many
that
Steve
was.
Buscemi's are even here?
All of them. All of the NPCs.
No.
Every NPC we see today, imagine them as Steve Buscemi playing them.
Do you
Which
think
one's the-
God
which one's
stays
God
up there to?
Steve Buscemi?
Do you think God stays up there because he's terrified of what is created?
Who knows?
Alright.
God, Steve Buscemi is my
Anyway.
So you've caught all, and also in the bag is you see a stack of mail, like from he has Tisk's mail. He's just like, this is why I came. And he like grabs one of them. He's like, oh no, not that one. And he throws one that definitely has like lipstick print on it and like an XOXO on the signature. Not that one. And he's like, no, not that one. That he throws away one that's just like past due, like last notice bill. He's like, not that one. He's like, this one. Here it is. And he hands Caram a letter.
Alright, let's see what he's asking.
It's
Open it.
it's not from Tisk. It is to Tisk, and it is a map that show that no, it's not a map. It's almost like a riddle. It says, "We will take the goods in the Spice Isles." It's just like, what are we looking for? What kind of are they well armed? Like, and then it's a response. It's like that they just keep forwarding the same letter back and forth, and then it's just like Tisk says, low armored. It's like they are not sending any of the crew with them. It's just like easy mark. Like take they have these supplies, and they list everything that is like normally known on this one. So it's got your wood, it's got your film, it's got the all the normal supplies that we are sending for trade and stuff. It's got the oven, it's got the baked goods. It says nothing about the secret room, and it has nothing about the fact that you four are on board.
Interesting.
Thought so. We're set up. It's like, do you know where the Spice Islands are?
Not exactly.
It's just like, oh, it's just like, yeah, okay. I mean, can I come?
If I say no, are you gonna try to sneak aboard again?
No.
Are you lying?
That sounds like a yes.
I honestly, if you say yes to him, if he when he says no, he will stay off the boat. Like, I will keep him off the boat. If you say yes, he will be here and we can use him, but he is in danger. The same amount of danger any of the crew are.
Fucking hell, of course you'd take after me. You'll listen to us if I say no, but... Hey, Cass, you... Just be ready.
Alright. Usual ready, or are you ready?
Can I say both?
It's asking a whole lot, but sure, I'll do.
If I say get to safety, you get to safety. Understood?
He like does a full-on salute and says aye aye, and then you see him like pull out an eye patch, but like the eye patch has the center of it cut out, so he can still, like, his eye is still very visible.
All right.
You see him grab up his gun and his like switchblade and like tuck them into his like outfit. All right, so we are about set off to go.
It's okay if I'm gonna grab just the standard issue firearm from the academy, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, you guys can have all your weapons on you as long as you can convince me that you can hide them from like.
Oh.
You can have them stored, for sure. But just if you kill something with them, try not to make it look like it was the Wander crew, because people know how you guys fight.
Ooh, you know what? I probably have a leftover couple of pistols that weren't traced before.
This is gonna be really dumb, but I have a sword.
I'm gonna grab one of them for alt.
That I'm gonna bring. I've never used it, so it hasn't been tracked to me. The Ghost Maker, I'm just gonna bring it, and I'm gonna keep it locked up.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what I haven't used. And I'm probably gonna keep my weapons locked up.
I'm just gonna take my sleep dust and just standard pistol and knife.
What I would be planning on bringing is the Cyrus Aegis, the Echoing Umbrella, and the cigarette holder that I have. But all of them are inconspicuous enough that I don't think he has to hide any of them, really.
Wait, does your cigarette holder have cigarettes in it?
No, but I have some. Don't tell my wife, please.
I won't.
Thank you.
Alright. So yeah, you guys all getting all of that stuff together. And like, yeah, that's what you guys have on you. If we need HP shots and stuff, like, we need to know. I need to know you guys have those on you now.
Cash is always carrying AP shots. AP and HP shots, always.
I imagine Zacna's got at least a couple of each.
Yeah, same. I'm going through my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine just carrying what I carry.
All right.
Oh wait, I forgot. I still got the Dream Cannon. I've never used it.
Right, so Bully is getting ready to go, and we have Alt like also stowed away now. And it's just like he gets given a mop and just starts like mopping, like swabbing the deck.
Ooh, I'm also gonna get him a little sailor uniform just to blend in with them.
Apologies, but could I also bring the flask and the shaker?
Yeah, okay.
Good beans.
The reason I'm asking you guys what you have on you is what, like, if you roll bad, what breaks. It's like, I'm gonna try to keep an eye on what you guys have on you more often. That's
fair. This is a month-long trip.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing that would need to be said that Cash has on him for sure is his doctor bag and his journal. He always carries those two things with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see. Alright, so the first portion of this journey is something we're all basically used to. We're going, because we've gone through it with the sub a couple of times. This will be the first time in a large ship. You guys also notice another thing about the way that this ship's doors close. They are like airlocks. The ship is not designed to go underwater by any means, but it's so that it can go into the celestial sea.
Okay.
Like, it'll still float, it'll get you there, but if you go out on the deck without, like, a scuba suit, then, you will literally get the air ripped out of your lungs and die.
I highly recommend everybody bring their rebreather too.
Oh no, rebreather just rebreathes. There's no air to rebreathe.
I mean, we're gonna be in the regular ocean too.
Oh, and yeah, the ocean is fine.
Yeah.
Alright, before we leave, Seth, do you want to try to do, like, a reading? To try to get, like, a...
I want to get,
base
like,
level?
get a control.
Absolutely. What's it look like to get a study?
I'm gonna bring out some notebooks because I'm traditional like that. God, there's a lot in here. It's not just visual though. There's gonna be some sound too, and it'll be when it's green like this and it's, because it's stable. It's like a light hum, like a refrigerator hum. And the light doesn't flicker, but it's more of a steady waver. So the light does change a bit, but it's not a major like flick of flash. It's just like wiggle lights and that hum. So that's the standard. We're here, silver thimble, standard like just baseline control.
All right? Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that is what we're at. We're at the lights, like, subtly going. And then... So the first step is going through the aqueducts. And, like, this ship is big, even for, like, the Dwarven aqueducts. But not so big that it can't make it. We pass by Holt, like, people, like, many, like, fish of the otters wave at you guys. Like, Channel 6 is filming the whole time, but, like, they don't know it's you guys. They just know it's a big ship coming from the Silver Thimble. There is a, crowd of people standing at the coast of Holt, like, I'm gonna say, like, right around here. Like, with signs that just say, "Go home, Silver Thimble." And down with the Silver Thimble. But it's just a couple of people. It's not like a huge group. It's just a small number.
They spelled thimble wrong.
That's just rude. How did they spell it wrong? Is it Thumble?
Yes.
Silver fumble.
Silver Fumble. That wasn't a mistake. They did that one on purpose. It's like,
You know what?
At least one of them has a sign that has it spelled with a UL instead of an LE.
I mean, they can say it was not a spelling mistake, but you know what? It's just because they don't want to be seen as wrong.
Who wants to roll a 20-sider as we make our way into the aqueducts? And like when I ask you guys for these ones, it is just I want each one of you to do it at some point, and this is just to see if anything happens while we're here. All right, so at 13, I honestly don't think anything particularly bad happens. Seth, as you're like in your as the further away from the silver thimble you get, you start to notice the lights are turning from teal into orange as you go away. And then as soon as you guys get into the aqueducts, like it just is flat. You don't get any resonance from outside. Like all of the lights go off. And it's not that magic doesn't exist here. The humming stays active. But there are no colors in any of these vials.
That's interesting. Definitely going to take down very detailed notes about exactly when it stops and when it starts again.
So I think it's probably a couple hours travel in the aqueducts to just get through them because they're huge, but also kind of winding. Here, 1 second, let me grab our tokens. Wait, have I not? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not. Okay, here we are, and now. I didn't make it the correct size. There we go. Aqueducts.
I don't see any ducks there at all. Disappointed.
I do. They're right there. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. I was very upset when I learned that duct tape was called duct tape and not duct tape.
Unless you're
It's
talking
definitely
about the
not.
brand.
And there is duct tape brand duct tape. It was a tragedy.
Who needs the tea? It's just duct tape.
Nope, I see it. Nick is just drawing things on the map all the time. Alright. So Seth, are you trying to research like what's going on? Like just watching it the whole time?
I want to watch really closely. I know I don't have a window in here, that would be dumb anyway. I want to watch these really closely, but I want to go look out the portholes to see if there's anything changing, and I also want to note any feelings in our crew members, not like I don't want to be suspicious. If any feelings, like body feelings, physical, mental, emotional, felt different in the aqueducts than they were in the Silver Thimble.
Can everybody roll me a 20-sider? So, Cash, you understand it, like, you get it the most. Like, you feel cut off from the rest of the world in here. Like, you're not in the sub. Like, this is, I think, the first time going through the aqueducts not in the sub. And this is not a silver ship itself. So, sorry, whenever you guys are in the sub, you feel the same as you feel when you are in the silver thimble. And you have that level of comfort. You guys don't worry about your body like splitting into two different things at any time. You can hit 0 AP and you're not freaking out. But when you're not in the sub and you're not in the silver thimble, you always have that sense of fear. Soap, you do not have that sense of fear here. Like, you feel like you are enveloped in safety. And because it was an 18, like, it's enough to, like... And as, like, Seth goes to a porthole, I'm picturing, like, Cash, like, right there looking out the same porthole situation, and you see the veins of silver running through this mountain. And it's huge. Like, there is so much silver surrounding you that the water itself is kind of sparkling with it. Like, while you're inside this mountain. Like, you feel a certain sense of protection, of safety from, like, anomalies and stuff.
This may be the safest passage we have so far, just by gauging by how this feels.
And, I'm gonna, like, I was just rolling, everybody just was just gonna take the highest, so, like, Soap feels safe and can, not Soap, Cash feels safe and can explain it to you guys, like, that you guys can all figure out what they figured out, but Seth, like, you are not getting any light from your, you think, you do get, like, it has gone from a hum to a whistle. Like, it sounds like somebody whistling just, like, a really upbeat tune. Like, your beakers and stuff, all of them are, like, in harmony with each other. But it has definitely gone from a hum to a whistle.
Is there any way I could record that sound itself without it being distorted? And may I get a bucket of that water? Would it be safe for me to do that?
You can take a bucket of the water, but that is theft.
Oh, well, never mind. Not doing that.
Now, you can straight up rob the dwarves if you want to, but...
Even if we wanted to drink some of it, that'd be considered theft too?
Absolutely.
Well, I'd be interested in learning about trade with them at a later time.
The Silver Thimble can trade with them. The Lockstitch, like, Voice's crew can't trade with them. You are not Voice's crew right now.
I'm gonna have a little talk with Royce about that later.
Yeah.
But absolutely, so, yeah, the lights dim out, as, like, the whistling goes, and as you guys start to see the light at the end of the tunnel situation, you start to see the lights are coming back into your bottles as bright, bright orange. As you leave the aqueducts, and so, like, we are now in folk song, and as bright as it was teal while you were in Silver Thimble, it is just as bright, but orange here. And, like, there are waves crashing everywhere. It's like you hear multiple of the crew members, like, cheering and, like, saying, like woohoo style as, like, holding onto the rail as the ship begins to basically jump the waves.
That's fun nostalgia. Real life nostalgia.
Oh boy!
What's the sound coming from the bottles? Is it still the whistle, or is it back to the humming?
Roll a 20-sider for me. Okay. That one, you see the lights shift into, like a dark green. And you see, like, lights inside your thing. you hear like a ghostly cant. It's almost like a pirate tune, like coming from it, and you guys definitely just start to hear like yo ho ho.
Is the light still like an illuminated green, or is it like dark? Like it's almost
Like
active
no,
light.
the green fires. They are green fires inside your thing, and you hear Bully like shout that you have company off the port bow. I really should learn more about boats.
Port is left because they're both 4. That's the way
Sure, as long as it's a word that makes sense, then we're gonna go with it.
Port's left side of the ship, starboard's the right.
Do I have... This'll do. It's like you feel the presence of, and like it's coming at, like if anybody's like standing on the deck, like where is everybody during this? Like as we like get out here.
I would figure that Caram is staying as far away from that room as possible, so he's probably just either on the deck or just ready to go on to the deck at a moment's notice.
Same with Zacna.
I think Cash would be below, since I don't think the man's very good at dealing with choppy waters like this.
So yeah, what Caram and Zacna, you both see this ship like coming at you. It is not reacting to the waves the same way your ship is. It is just going right through them as though they're not even there, and it looks like it's on pace to ram you.
Oh boy!
Hell.
I'm gonna. I can hear that there is something out there, right? That I can actually hear that. Or is this room like that I'm in kind of soundproof?
The room definitely has to be soundproof for sure.
Okay.
But I think there's like an announcement coming over the speakers.
I will
over the
make
loudspeakers.
sure things are secured, and then get up as fast as I can. But I do want to make sure things are secured.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Caram and Zacna, what are you guys gonna do? Because like you're out there, like you do see the boat coming right at you.
Let's see. Do we have any weapons and any big guns on board?
This is a cargo ship. You didn't want to deter people from attacking. Like you wanted to be attacked, basically. Well, Peanut wanted you to get attacked. Maybe you didn't want to be attacked.
Not this early.
Yeah, not this early. Like, right now, I wish we had something big.
Did you pack something big in one of these crates?
Perhaps
What'd you pack?
a recoilless rifle.
I don't know what that is.
Does that rifle take no bullets? Yes, it does.
It could, in theory.
Maybe best to not use the no bullets since they're supposed to be bait.
I mean, if it comes down to it, if life or death, but it's good to have them in case. And
That is true, but first option, definitely not the first option.
But it could be utilized to fire regular shells.
Yeah, it's up to you, Zacna. Like, you can pull out this gun and try to fire it if you want, for sure. You can fire it. Yeah. If you want to do it, just go ahead and roll me that 20-sider. I'll say that you have it on you. That's fine.
Also, I'm going to mention for examples, the AT-4 rocket launcher is a recoilless rifle. Not a rocket launcher. But yeah. Tough choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So your tough choice is, you can. When you fire at them, like, the bullet goes right through, like, completely through the ship. Like, the bullet passes right through the ship, and you also, the bullet goes right through somebody on the deck, and it looks like you blew their head clean off. But then the head, like, slowly reforms itself and tips a hat to you. And I'm actually just gonna move us here real quick.
Well, I was kind of hoping that they'd just be able to fly through us, but I'm not sure that's gonna be the case now.
Like, you see multiple just adorable ghosts climb onto, like, not even climb onto the ship, but just kind of appear there right in front of you. You have enough time that if you wanted to, you could reload and put a null bullet in it, yeah, and fire again. Or, and this is your tough choice, do you fire on them again, or do you, like, what else do you do? What else would you do?
I would actually have to reload before firing again.
Alright. Absolutely. Caram, the deck is now flooded with multiple ghosts. And you see their sheets definitely have, like, some of them are just made of Jolly Rogers. Like, instead of, like, a white sheet, they are wearing a Jolly Roger as, like, their ghost outfit.
I can't even be, like, scared of these. And I'm scared of ghosts.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kick one and just try to not make it insanely obvious that I'm using the empty when I attack it.
Oh yeah, go for it. But you are using it.
Yes.
Not obvious. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me a roll. Natural 20 for sure. What does the attack look like? And also, just so you know, using the empty on a ghost, you are obliterating this thing. You can actually take out 2 of them.
I think that this one back here is the only one paying attention to Caram at the moment, while the other 2 are looking at the guy that's reloading the big gun, and he just sees this random trader kick these 2 ghosts, just steps forward, kicks one, and as he's, like, jumps to follow through and kick the other, so it's just one rotation of a kick, and they're just gone. And he knows that that's now a threat. Because they are not... unlike last time, they're not coming back.
So you got rid of those two?
Yep.
Okay. And that one just sees it happen. What's that 20? You scare the shit out of this ghost, for the record. And you just see it just like sink into the ship, and then like you guys can look over the edge, and it has little feet coming out of the bottom of its blanket, its Jolly Rancher blanket, and it's just like running on the water and just dives back into its own ship.
Caram just slowly walks over to the side and just is standing there with his arms crossed, just staring them down.
Alt is too. He's got his gun out though.
Can I also stare them down, but do the nightmare smile to scare them off?
Alt's like, then that's right, and stay gone. You ain't shit to the undersea. I mean, you ain't shit. That's right. I can be covert.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
It's just like, Alt's just like, man, I didn't know you could kick ghosts though.
Just as Karam's staring him down, trying not to make waves, saying, like, in case I can read the lips, he's kind of just hiding it. I didn't either.
That's sick. It's just like, they got a little gym set up downstairs. You think we could like practice? You think you could teach me that? Just like, yeah.
I am still experimenting with it, only once I know the full effect.
He's just like, but could you do the thing where it's just like, I saw a different fighter do it, and it was just like, he put his hands together and he was like, Hadouken, something like that. Can you do that?
Haven't tried?
Can you throw fireballs?
Definitely.
Can you light your hand on fire and uppercut things? Have you ever experimented with a spear and thrown it and got it stuck in somebody's neck and then yelled, get over here?
What kind of fighters have you been seeing?
Oh shit. Oh, you've been out on missions. You haven't been seeing the undersea tournaments lately. They've gotten really wild now that we got them televised.
I need to enroll in one of those.
Dude.
What?
Just Cash standing by listening to them both talk. If you did that, I'm sure either you would be really good at it or you might accidentally kill somebody. Please don't.
I know how to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't kill Alt.
Nobody kill me. I'm the best. And like you just see him like throwing punches and like fucking karate chop in the air.
I feel like I revealed the presence of our one of our recoilless rifles too early.
You did scare away ghosts though. Vice is just like mopping up ectoplasm. Ew.
All right.
That's not even true because we know that like he completely obliterated them.
Alright, let's get that put away, and I very much doubt that they're going to say much, because...
They're fucking out.
Yeah.
They're trying to flee so hard. Like, they are... You scared a bunch of ghosts. Wait, where is that map? There it is. You guys do see... It does not fly the way that you might, like, think a ghost ship would. Like, it turns, and part of it definitely clips the side of you guys' ship. Like, it clips through you to try to turn itself around on a dime. And part of it goes right through, hits where you guys are keeping the null metal bullets, and you put a hole in the ship, and it just starts sinking.
Oh no.
I think we just made their afterlife just a little bit harder.
Problem solved. Nobody
Sure.
knows that they were here.
Ghost pirates now robbing the Atlanteans.
2 problems solved now.
I appreciate your optimism.
All right.
Seth makes it to the deck just in time to see a ghost ship sinking.
Hi, Seth.
What? What the
We took
fuck?
care of it. All right. Shall we get back on course then?
I probably should know what happened to take notes because some shit was happening downstairs too.
Ghosts.
Oh, thank goodness!
Ghost.
Thank you for taking care of those. Trauma averted. Thank you for that.
So, I'm sorry. Also, you guys heard the bells going with that 13. Like, even in folk song, like, it felt. You guys have, yeah, Cash, you've been to Sonnery. Like, I think all of you may have been to Sonnery at this point, but Cash has spent a good amount of time in Sonnery. Cash had a sleepover in Sonnery.
Yeah.
Pajamas and everything. But you get that feeling from what just happened. And you know that you guys are way south of Sonnery. Like, I think we're right about here, probably. But you felt that very particular. The scent of death is the wrong word. But I think Sonnery smells like fall. Like fallen leaves, like the sweet smell of decomposition is how Sonnery smells. And like you could catch that in the wind. Those ghosts were from Sonnery.
This is quite far to be from Sonnery.
Yeah, that's a little alarming.
Uh-huh.
Are the sides starting to overlap? When we first came here, the sides were pretty set apart from one another. Very little travel.
I mean, Pina did say that a lot of these people that we may, individuals, or whatever, what have you, that we'll be running into, have an unbridled sense of adventure and very little to lose. So it could be a situation like that.
Yes, the only way to figure more out is to continue sailing.
What colors
Mhm.
have they changed to now that Caram has yeeted the ghosts back into their second afterlife?
Like we are back to orange. Like just so we know, and this is me as a GM explaining more than anything else. Everywhere should be orange, unless it is the silver thimble, or where the silver thimble has like really gotten their fingers into it, which turns the magic like silver. Like when you mix teal and orange together, it doesn't make silver, but I like it better if it does. So, like the go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, here's Zacna. I'll help you get that put away. Probably should get back to hiding this.
Yeah.
As far as we know, the silver thimble is like basically as far as you can see that circle go out, including like it touches dyad and a little bit of hymnal. Like that's where you can. Oh, you guys can't see it?
No.
No.
Still can't. Rude.
Nothing.
I'm currently. I'm going to just draw it. There we go. That is teal. Wait, am I not? No, a GM layer. That's my bad. Not the little one. Anywhere within that, you guys are basically safe. That is your bubble. Like the magic is always teal there. And Seth, you would definitely know this. Like you would be the person that one of the people that is most inclined to know it. This forest over here, I think right here, yeah, in the arboreal wilds, Abonus wilds, like wields, that is becoming silver because that is where magic stopped existing and the team pumped a bunch of their own magic into it. Leo, Kay, Isaac took care of that by putting... They returned magic to the forest in maybe a dangerous way. It hasn't been proved dangerous yet, but... Cash, you would know about that spot too, because during your road trip, you guys ran through it.
Yeah.
And nothing happened to it when you ran through it. It was fine. Nobody put a finger in anything.
I mean, it definitely made two of the passengers who got out to look at it really sick, but I was fine because I was
really sick.
I was in the car.
Alright, so on we go. Seth, it has gone back to bright orange. There is a concern. Some of the vials... Does anybody know the thing I'm thinking about? The way that I'm picturing these is they have a tiny bit of like liquid in the bottoms of them, but like when they interact with something, they kind of fill up.
Mercury?
Is it like mercury? Like
Mercury only has a set amount in it, and when it heats up, it slowly increases in size.
I mean, just
you guys
yeah,
ever play with those things at Spencer's Gift? This might be some kind of mercury thing. I honestly don't know, but like when you hold the bottom of it, it warms up by your body heat and fills up the top instead. The weird little science experiment things. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about?
I think I've seen those.
Vaguely.
But I know a lot of materials expand when they heat. Most materials expand when they heat up. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what it is. And like, as we're like sailing these waters, 13's still successful. And since I took care of the ghost, you don't have to worry about that. You do notice that there are two spots. I'm just gonna keep circling things on the map. Oh, no, you know what? Seth, do you know how to make a circle on the map? With the draw tool?
I'm gonna learn right now.
If you click the draw tool, is it ellipse?
Ellipsis.
Yeah. It's
Ellipsis, sorry.
ellipsis.
No, you're fine, man. Fixing fucking, like, the way people talk is not my jam. Can you make that orange and draw me two circles where magic is incredibly strong in folk song? Like, so strong that it should be marked and worried about, or researched at least.
I can't shift. It's not letting me move it. When I try to scroll, because I have to switch hands, I accidentally put two circles in the wrong place.
Don't worry, I took care of them.
I was trying to scroll to the side. It takes me a lot longer than normal. I apologize.
No, you're fine, man. Okay.
Clicking the
No
middle
pressure.
mouse button, then you can shift it around.
Oh, Nika, can you shift it to the left so that we can see folk song on the map?
How large should they be?
Big as you want to put them. These are like places that we should definitely research. All right, so there are two incredible pockets for this one right here.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize I made a second one there. Oh, they copied it. I use Alt to talk, so that's probably what's happening. Yeah, those two. There we go.
Okay, so let me get us over the waters for the big one, because the other one's on land and we're not land-based. So this is outside of Obsession. The waters are terrifying, but we know that. You can feel the magic in the air. There are multiple little like fairies, the fairy folk, like flitting around, like coming up to the ship. They're not like specifically trying to rob you, but you do notice that all of the folks from Dyad have sealed the doors and locked them, and like they all check the windows and like batten the hatches and stuff to make sure that the fairies can't get in there and take their teeth while they sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna be helping them.
One of us here just regrows teeth.
Hmm.
No, we don't have time for that.
Who wants to do the 20-sider for As We Pass Through Obsession? Seth did one and Zacna did one so far.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Wow, the 13s are never ending.
Oh.
Okay.
God damn
okay.
it. Well, 20 has a prerogative, and we're all here for it, I guess.
Let me just take one quick look at a character sheet here. Just no problem. Nobody panic. Do 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 do. Who? Seth, where are you sleeping?
Oh no. I'm probably sleeping in this particular room to make sure if there's anything changing, I will be right there and able to document it immediately. I actually probably have alarms set, so like every hour I will check these.
I was about to make a roll, but I have learned, thank you, Nika, and thank you, who played it in chat? I need to thank them very specifically. Oh, thank you, Ro. I was about to make a roll to see how successful these fairies are going to be, and how successful you guys might be against them in this situation. But I know how successful they are, and I know how successful you guys are. All of you wake up in the morning, and you are definitely missing teeth.
Oh, jeez.
Like, literally, all 4 of you. And worst case, Seth, you see a tiny little hole has been cut out of your door. And not just cut, it looks like somebody gnawed through it. There's just a hole. Like, so instead of forcing the door open, these little fairy bastards bit their way in. Caram, you are definitely missing a molar.
I'm killing them.
Zacna, you are missing one of your bottom front teeth. Like, is it still a canine when when on the bottom? I don't know much about teeth.
Yeah.
It'll regrow in a couple of days.
I'm absolutely sure it will. Seth, you wake up, and I think your teeth regrow, is what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, they do.
Seth, you are missing all of your teeth.
Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Something about Seth's teeth, these little fuckers want so bad that they took all of them. And Cash, you look like a hockey player, as they definitely took one of your 2 front teeth.
I hope they choke on it.
What did I name their tokens? Because I want to see them. Oh, I did. Here we go. Here you guys go. In case you're wondering what kind of creatures were in your mouths, in case you guys forgot, it's these guys.
Next time I'll have to, next time they try anything, I'll have to try and bite.
I will reiterate. I hope they choke on it.
After I finish crying, I'm going to try and find a way to close that hole. How big is the hole?
The hole is so they are. It's about the size of them. So if we have it them next to you, you know, like maybe a coffee can, one of the smaller ones.
Caram's going up to Cash and just giving him that look. I want my tooth back.
Cash has got his mask so he could see what's missing. So do I. Then he just eyes Shadow like, you could have done something, my guy.
You see, your shadow is also missing teeth.
Oh, poor guy. No, it's personal. They took from the dog.
Zacna's teeth are already starting to grow back, but he's still annoyed.
So things that we're gonna get out of it with that 13. Seth, you realize that there is, like, looking at your instruments, you see a bunch of magic, and then the magic goes down. Then a bunch of magic, and then the magic goes down. Almost like a valve is filling to the point of like almost exploding, and then like calms itself down, and it's almost it's in a rhythm.
Okay. Does it look like any of them are actually going to break?
It looks like there very well could be a chance of it if like you like immediately you see if whatever's like not pulling it down, didn't pull it down, these would all explode.
Okay. I guess the hole is not priority right now because I don't want things to explode. I'm going to go upstairs. I need to check with the others to see. I don't know what happened to them yet, so I need to check with them and do like what happened. But I'm gonna cover my face with like a cloth or a shawl or something. Oh, the
As like
crew too.
they're all fine.
Okay.
They're all just like, we sealed ourselves in here. We heard rumors about those little bastards.
You know,
We were warned.
if we weren't undercover right now, I would be telling you to pull over so I can go kill them. You don't do this.
So I take that and everybody else too.
They're way more dangerous than we thought. We have multiple holes all over the ship of them trying to get to us. Trying to get to everybody else. It's just like,
Are there any holes that will cause us to sink?
I don't think so. They're mostly like above board. Like some of the cargo has holes in them now, but once we got out of their territory, they seem to have like left us at peace.
Hmm.
Oh, bastards.
Alt doesn't have teeth because he's a bird. And he's just like inside of his mouth. It just says bicuspid was here. It has like somebody scraped graffiti inside the inside of his beak.
Oh.
Caram sort of slowly grabs a note, puts it in his pocket. This will be for later.
He's like, the captain is just like, I didn't get any warning about them having sleep magic, though. It's just like, and everybody, we should have been on guard, and he just like looks back and forth, like, you see him like switch off all of his comm radios and stuff. He's just like, you guys are strong, though. That shouldn't have happened, right?
I'm magic resistant, and it put me to sleep.
Doesn't matter how strong one individual is, sometimes just dumb things just manage to happen. There's not much that one... I'm sure there's something we could have done, but unfortunately we are trying to lay low, so none of the normal things could have probably prevented what happened.
Do we have any ideas? Like, if we're gonna make this journey again, if we're gonna make this path again, we need to make sure our future boats are safe, future sailors are safe from there. Like, obviously, we can have crews of all people without any teeth, or teeth that grow back. It like motions to Zacna and Seth, but this could be a real problem for some people. Do you
Yeah.
have any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. The some people. Yeah, the some people.
The only
Maybe
idea I have is toothless crews.
some kind of charms, or maybe something to actually trade with these fae so they won't take teeth out of our mouths.
You see two of the salamanders look back and forth at each other. Oh no! Don't and like they both cross themselves like they do the Beezus symbol, then they do the hymnal symbol, and then they do a couple other symbols. They do one where they put their hands together in such a way that it looks like an eye with lashes, and they bow to it, and then they both like take a knee and like ask the queen for forgiveness. And it's just like, oh no. We would never on this ship compare the fae to the fairies. The tooth fairies are not the. We know this. Everybody's good. And they like eye contact with Seth.
Does that take them off?
Semantics.
It's like,
Or does it
Credit-
take someone else off?
it's, you never want to compare things that you don't explicitly know as the fae.
Got it.
Well, something to
The
trade
fae
with
will
these
be upset.
fairies then. Do more research to see if there's something that they would prefer to have, rather than going into our mouth specifically, or some kind of magic protection from their specific type of magic. Or poison the metal on the boat.
They noticed that that's definitely like a you guys thing. I'm just gonna keep sailing. You see Vice over the edge, like puttying up the holes. Still with his stupid fucking hat on, though.
We'll go back and deal with this. Figure out a plan after the trip's done. We have the trip to finish.
They're like, absolutely. Did anybody get seriously injured?
Does pride count?
I mean, kind of. You do look ridiculous.
Does anyone have any magic that can regrow teeth? I would just like our teeth back.
Dentistry magic. And you see Bully like tap his thumb. I have heard of a doctor that can work wonders. We might be able to stop there and along the way.
Cash puts
Sure.
his head in his hands. Which one? Do you know his name? Do you know their name by chance?
I do not know their name. There's
Okay.
only a rumor, so
We'll make a quick stop over there. It's nothing serious.
absolutely. He's just like, now buckle in, everybody. We're about to hit Tefrates, and those waters are unknown to me.
Okay.
So
All right.
we know that if you cut in this circle here, the pixies are strong enough. Like the pixies, I think I was calling them pixies before, but I do have them labeled as fairies. We know that they are strong enough to put you to sleep. Like, that is what is very dangerous about that. Like, they will put you straight to sleep and then steal your teeth, which is just bad news for everybody. Unless you don't have teeth, then it's fine news.
Well, if you like graffiti in your beak.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's still leave graffiti in your beak.
They will leave graffiti in your beak because they're assholes. We can't let Talali come through here. She's only got 4 teeth, and she needs to protect those.
If they're dumb enough to bother Talali, then whatever happens to them, let it happen.
Nothing will survive Talali.
Exactly.
People survive frog.
Or snail.
So you make your way into Tefrides. Behind you is a beautiful volcano. Like, even from a distance, it seems like you can see something seeping out the edges of it, like cracks in the walls of it, and it's just like leaking out. Some of that gets into this water, and you can see the water is iridescent. Like, this one's a bad picture for it, but here, let me just take us here real quick. Like, the water is a rainbow of just beautifully colored water. Seth, your magic reading instruments are going crazy. Not in the same way that they were filling up and then going down. Like, they are at the top and just sitting there. Like, without any roll, this place is, thus far, the most magical place we've been to.
Now, if we take some water from here, would it be stealing?
This is just ocean water.
Even the iridescence on the top, that's just magic? Just pure magic?
That's just ocean water. That's just how it is here. I mean, you can take it.
Oh, just pretty.
For sure. It's like everything in this area is like, go ahead.
I do want to remember it because it's very pretty.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you guys won't like forget it. But yeah, I guess Caram, this is you. Yeah, there it is. There's a 5.
Because
There
the
wasn't a
several
13.
13s we've rolled have been good. Ugh.
You hear that volcano. It begins to rumble as you guys get like it wasn't like, it was just like being there. You saw like you hear Bully be like, the Bleeding Mountains, beautiful, aren't they? And it's like, you do see it. It looks like these mountains just are like cracked and like just drooling out blood is like the weirdest word, but like any way to put that. But they're seeping blood, what looks like blood, into the like right into the ocean.
Don't like that.
No.
And around the sides of the ships, you start to notice like ripples in the water.
Oh boy.
And the ship gets lurched one direction and then the other, as you start to see strange tentacles begin to like touch the sides of the ship, and one of them about the size of your body, like the end of, like, imagine if the end of a tentacle is a hand situation, although don't imagine fingers. Like, it slaps onto the side of one of the things and starts like dragging it a little bit, and the ship begins to tilt slightly. There are things in the water.
When I notice the ship beginning to list, I'm going to make my way up.
Yeah, absolutely. What's everybody else up to? Like, what's the like? Some of your cargo containers are like sliding across the deck.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up and stab it.
Or just stab the tentacle.
Yeah. I'm gonna try something. I have no idea if it'll work. I'm gonna try to see if I can put the empty through the blade as I stab it.
Roll me a 20-sider. So with an 11, yeah, I'll let this happen. So what's it look like when you do this?
I don't think that the blade actually shows the empty flowing into it. It's more of the area around Caram's hand where he's touching the blade, where you can kind of just see like, I think almost like black specks floating around as he just stabs into this tentacle. I don't think he's gone the technique down quite yet for it to work efficiently, but I think he's gotten it down enough that it works.
Like with an 11, all of you. Wait, maybe not all of you. I don't think Zacna has enough. For I think it's as Seth like reaches the top, like, and you see Seth, like you see it from like an outside perspective. Like as Caram like stabs his sword down into it, you hear, and Caram doesn't hear it. Nobody else hears it, but a scream coming not from the tentacle that he's stabbing, but from the sword that he stabs into it. Like Caram, you have turned that sword into a null blade. You have killed any spirit that was inside that sword, and you now have you're holding null metal.
All right.
And the tentacle like reels back, and you deal your like 3 damage to it, and then you just start. It goes back, and there's a moment of quiet as like the ship rights itself, and then you just hear slap, 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 and then the ship starts like being pulled down.
We're gonna have to jump off to deal with this, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm gonna jump off, and go shark mode.
Cash stays on the deck and would use word slash and send and whatever would use word slash.
Let's see. What can Zach do? I am not sure what to do.
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly fine, man. Give me 1 second as I like get everything in place. All right, so Seth, you're jumping over. You said.
Yes, and I'm gonna use shapeshift to become a great white shark, which is smaller than an elephant.
Yeah, that's fine. And what were you doing there, Cash?
Casting word slash. He's staying on the deck.
And what were you doing, Karam?
I'll just jump over the edge and stab the first tentacle I can see again.
Oh, don't get mine.
We jumped off different edges.
Alright, roll me 20-siders for the second you two hit this water.
Sure. Ah.
How do I explain this one? Especially for Karam in this situation. Karam, as you hit the water, specifically because it's you, you lose control of your, like, null abilities for a moment. Like, yeah, definitely belly flop directly on it, and you just hear screams as, like, have we done the thing where you put a bunch of pepper in some water and, like, get your fingers soapy and then put your finger in it and all the pepper runs away from it? Do you guys know that science experiment?
Nope,
Yeah.
but I do now.
I have never heard of that experiment.
I did a lot more, like, weird dumb science things in school than I think most people did. I'm starting to gather. Yeah, the whole, like, surface tension situation. Or, like, you can make like ink run around a bowl, and it's just like there is screaming. And Seth, you hit the water first, and, like, you're deep inside, and all you can hear is the echoes of screams as Karam hits the water. And Cash and Zacna, if you guys look over, you can just see, almost like Wile E. Coyote style, where Karam went into the water, and, like, the water keeps splashing, but nothing is filling up his, like, the hole at the top of the water that Karam made.
Well done.
Makes mental note. Make sure he's okay later.
So, roll for your attack, on it, Cash. Were you just trying to, like, slash it with it? Like,
Yeah, trying
Yeah,
to
okay.
do as much damage with it.
Alright, so here is your tough choice. You can deal some damage to it, and it will, like, I'm gonna say right now that the ship has 40 HP. You can deal damage to it, and it will deal 4 damage to the ship.
Mm.
And begin to, like, start to bring it down. Alternatively, you can see it going for that slap and turn your attack to just basically make that a glancing blow, so you don't deal damage, but it doesn't get to deal damage either.
I'll go with it doesn't get to deal damage at all.
Alright. So what's it look like to parry this with a quill?
I would think with parrying it with that, it's not the quill, it's the ink that the quill's producing that gets it, that there's enough of it that it dissuades it from hitting anything. So it basically, the quill would, I guess, fly out and just leave, like, one hell of a, like, big streak of ink in the air that would keep it from hitting the ship.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Alright, Karam and Seth, you guys are underwater. And you got this giant ass creature down here, and its eyes glow the same color that you are noticing that is bleeding out of that mountain. It is bright, bright, bright orange. I think I actually like this map better, so I think I'm going to put us back on this one. Because the other one is just my default underwater one. I don't like my default underwater one. Here we go.
How big is this creature?
That big.
Oh, I'm gonna try to aim for its eyes then. I'm gonna just go in and shark, like bite as fast as I can, right for its eyes. Any of its eyes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a 20-sider. Alright. So your tough choice is, you can go in, like, you go in for that bite, like, swing right at its eye. Like, there is a moment that you could just go right now, get its attention, like, it's gonna bite, it'll slap you with a tentacle, but you will get a good bite on it. I'm gonna say, like, you do 6 damage to it. It's nasty.
I will accept that, yes.
I was just thinking, does Shark Seth get his teeth back?
When I
Or
transform
is it
things,
way funnier if Shark Seth doesn't have his teeth?
I should have went whale shark then.
Whale sharks don't hurt anything except for plankton.
They're so cute though.
It's just you headbutting it. No, I'll give you back your teeth, but in my head it's way funnier.
I
Like-
was gonna say,
Go ahead.
why go with a great white? Why not a bull shark?
I was more thinking like a big ass marlin, but
Fucking,
Ooh.
just fucking.
yeah,
Sharks
creating the
coming,
form around him,
barking.
absolutely. What Nika said is actually right. It's just like the fact that like you are creating the body around you, but still, in my head, it's hilarious. And so yeah, you could do that, get that 6, but from that, the reason that you are so like it's so easy to get that damage is because it's looking the other way, and it's gonna start squeezing the ship. And I'm going to deal 6 damage to the ship as well.
Mm.
Alternatively, you can get the bite, but it's going to still deal you 6 damage to it. Get that eye. But it's going to grab you and begin squeezing. You will be both restricted and take 4 damage.
I'll take the second option.
Alright? So Seth is wrapped in its tentacles. And Caram, now that like you're done with your belly flop, what you doing underwater?
I'm gonna go stab it in the gills.
Alright, roll me that 20-sider. Nat 20 for sure. So like you just get it right in the gills.
With
This
the
thing's
gill point.
huge, for the record. This thing is like, this guy is also not particularly magical.
Oh,
Like, he lives in magic water, but he's not a creature of magic. Like, if
Fair
you kill him with it, for sure, he's dead for good. But not everything in this world worries about their AP the same way that the crew has to.
I know.
So yeah, you cut it across, and it's a normal stock blade, but you have now made it null. So yeah, you do 6 damage to it, like cut it wide, cut those gills wide open. As it begins thrashing. What's the attack look like? Because like you heard it, but not like. I think there's a moment that Caram realizes that you are hurting it, but not in any way that like truly matters.
Alright. I think what happens is if the water is trying to avoid Caram is using that to essentially get a much better swipe than this thing's expecting, just straight across the gills to cut them open.
Cash and Zacna, you see that it let go of the ship with its tentacles, and you see multiple of its tentacles like retracting under the water, and it is swinging. It is swinging at Caram with Seth. It did a terrible job, though.
Counterattack if I can.
Yeah, for sure. What's the counterattack look like?
Karam's going to swim to the side and just try to cut the tentacle open to try to free Seth.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let that work. You hit it just right. That two things happen. First, when you cut it, you actually hit it in such a way that it starts like bleeding. And like as it bleeds into the water begins to boil around it. And like it lets Seth go and it starts to swim. It is trying to swim away now. Like it is heading off to find better prey.
I telepathically speak to the crew. Should we chase it? Never mind, I can't hear you guys back.
Karam just starts trying to swim up. Rope, please.
Zacna throws down a rope.
I just slowly climb up. I don't like the water.
Shift back.
Me too, buddy. You'll be alright. You've had worse.
Squiggling my way back up.
It's like Vice just like walks up to you guys. It's just like, I recommend staying on the boat next time. But thank you for not letting me get killed. And he like clutches his hat on top. He pulls his hat tighter down around his head.
I see why Peanut doesn't like it now. I just start walking off.
What is with everybody in my fucking hat?
It needs a feather on it.
It needs to be
shit.
different entirely.
I'm gonna burn this ship down. I'm just gonna burn this ship down. Just fucking.
I see nothing wrong with it.
I'm gonna spare that guy, but all the rest of these fuckers, I'm just gonna burn it down. That's how it's gonna go. It's cool. It's cool. As he just,
You'll be paying for it.
Fucking try. You're gonna be dead. Bottom of the ocean somewhere.
You think you can take on that fish?
I mean,
That's right. Be
No.
quiet.
you guys are making an enemy out of Vice. I mean, I know I started it, but poor Vice.
Except for Zacna is the only one who's trying not to.
I'm angry. I just dealt with magical water that was boiling around me. I've lost a tooth.
And just to be
This is
fair,
like-
I think feathers look
Go.
good on everything. So
This is like week 4 of the trip, and Vice is just non-stop hearing just criticism of his hat. Because I don't for a second think Alt lets him forget that his hat looks dumb.
I think it leads gradually gone from trying to be polite to he is just kind of fed up of being on the boat, so unfortunately the hat's gotta go. The hat is where the hat is getting all the issues.
I forgot to put the boat on this map, but let me. Oh no, we don't need to deal with a giant, weird sea creature anymore. That guy is still out there, though. Just for the record. Like, he's not gonna bother you guys' ship, and he probably won't attack ships. Oh, I don't know what I moved you guys to, but I moved you somewhere. So now we are getting Okay, I'm gonna move you to the map so I can show you guys where you're seeing more. So we are down here now. We are near the coast of we are between Tier Loh and Tefrates. And can you guys just roll to see what you see, basically. This is like, even a 1, I'm not going to attack you. This is just information gathering rolls of you guys' time in Tefrates for a moment.
I'm gonna raise that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can for sure if you want to.
Yeah.
Zacna, do you want to do a study?
Yeah.
What are we all like? What kind of stuff are we looking out at? Like, what's the kind of stuff that would pique your character's interest?
The sun.
Please don't look directly at that. I'm not that kind of doctor.
Speaking of which, I would like that, Doctor, but later. I think what Caram would be looking for, I think it's just more of to try to get a general sense of how people around here like are, or how they treat their land.
Yeah, absolutely. Real fun thing about Tefrates is you do not see very many what you might call now you guys are not close enough to see that, so you don't see any like houses or little farmsteads or anything like that on the coastline. Like when you guys were up here, there is a very nice black sand beachfront location in the Rainbow Waters. That's near where you fought the Aboleth. Well, it wasn't really an Aboleth, but that's what the token's called. But that's where you fought that thing. Like, nice resort situation. Like, people were waving at you. Definitely, like, sarongs and bikinis on all sorts of people. You see some flamingos down there that you kind of might recognize their face from Consonant. That's weird. Definitely you see like gnomes, and you see an old wizard sitting on the beach just waving at you guys as the ship goes by, and like it feels amazing. Like that place, like Caram, you might not be into like beach vacations. I'm not sure if you are, but if anybody likes beach vacations, there's an amazing resort right there. Like if we were gonna do a beach episode, let me tell you where it'd be.
Now, was that before or after we thought the Aboleth?
Afterwards, like as you guys are passing by. But after that, you do not see any more. Should make a beach episode card. You could make a beach episode card.
Every good series has a beach episode.
Yep.
We haven't done a beach episode in a couple seasons. I think we had one the first season. But in the distance and without any rolls, like you guys all see a giant tree, like that seems to be standing out of the center of this place. No matter where you guys are on Tefrates, you can see this tree. Like at least the tops of it. The bottoms of it are mostly in a huge crater, but you can see the top of the weir. And it's huge, and it is setting off all magical implements. Oh yeah, the consonant one was a beach episode. That was pretty good.
Now, are the instruments staying stable, or are they going up and down?
They are as full as they can be without making everything explode.
Note to upgrade instruments to be able to hold more.
Absolutely. All right. So, you guys all see the tree. What are you looking out for, Zacna? Like, what is
Threats of any kind.
threats? You see, you don't know if it counts as a threat, but you, Nika, if you could slide the map just a little bit to the left again, so that. I don't think she. I'm gonna move the map myself. Here we go. Alright, so right here, like you see, it looks like a creature, humanoid in form, standing incredibly tall. Taller than any house that we have access to. Not. Did you see Sal, Zacna? The Salamander King? Did you see? You must have seen him, right?
So.
Okay, yeah. At least as big as the Salamander King. This giant shadowed figure that and I only say shadowed because like it's not that he is made of shadow, but you cannot see any features. It's just like an obsidian black figure that is coated in fire. And like he looks like it's burning. It doesn't look like it's causing him any harm, but it does like there's definitely a moment, Zacna, where it meets your eyes and you are aware of it as much as it is aware of you. Like you two make eye contact from a massive distance, miles away from each other. But it perceives you and you perceive it. It is not necessarily a threat right now. It means no hostility towards you right now, but you've become distinctly aware that if it wanted to, it would sink your ship in a second.
I'll have to make sure not to tick it off then.
It's like it is incredibly clearly you are not a threat to it, which is the only reason it is not a threat to you. Alright. Cash and Seth, what are you two looking at? Not at the same time, you can, take turns.
I would say since he knows that there are others who are far more keen-eyed than him for threats and other things like that, he's mostly just enjoying the scenery as something new and making mental notes of certain things, color, etc.
Yeah, alright, so things that you'll notice, the scenery and whatnot, there do appear to be many crystals on the western bank as you guys, it's your right side and then it becomes your left side, like as you guys like go around, you start to see giant crystals coming out of the ground in I think it's called Solicite, which is why the place is called Soul City. Like, but they're huge. They are towers onto themselves of giant one piece of unbroken crystal, and like they keep building all the way up. And they do seem like they're coming out of the ground. And just like does Cash have like binoculars and stuff? Because I assume like all of you guys have like some kind of.
I would think he would. I would think that it would be issued, so he would have it with him in his satchel.
You definitely see that the in the crystals have been carved out. Like, you're pretty sure you see a house up there.
Interesting.
Alright, Seth, what are you looking for? /at.
We already know that there's no, it doesn't look like there's any civilizations close to the shore itself, but does it look like it could hold some type of civilization, or does it look like from where we're at? Does it look like any of the natural resources are usable?
I don't think you can figure that out from a distance.
Okay. Like
I'm trying to think of how you would.
like
Because
the
like
trees.
all of these plants, like the trees have fruit.
Are they like
But-
redwood size, or are they like oak size?
The tree size. Like as the map shows, basically. It just little forests of standard sized trees. I think I would say. They're pretty abundant. They're also very green and lush vegetation is how I would put it. Like you do see tall grass, where it grows. You see, there's definitely flora and fauna out here, but more like the regular world run wild than massively grown stuff. But it's all lush and very. It's there.
Take note of that, because that could be used in the future. It's like maybe a civilization or an outpost could be put there that we could have an outpost here, and it has resources. So definitely want to take note of that.
You guys are colonizers.
Oh, did you not realize that like 3 seasons ago?
That has been a comment that I've heard so many times.
Nobody's there.
What the? These people are there? We just saw a house. These people are there?
There are people there.
Joke.
Monsters.
Well, maybe we could speak to the people. Say in quotations. Oh my god.
I want to talk to you about my outpost.
Can we do some trading? We're interested in learning about your resources. Could we trade with some of our resources? Maybe research too. Just taking note, not doing anything.
I actually do think there's a moment where Bully's just like, oh, stay away from those crystals. The people there are secretive and mean. At one time, I gave this lady a ride on the ship. She was all like, her and her fucking dog. Well, like, I want to come along on the ride. I want to, like, make it to the Silver Thimble. So I was just like, cool. And then the whole time, I kept just politely asking, hey, how was your day? And then she just wouldn't share any information.
I mean, maybe she just wasn't the talkative type.
She was talking to a dog an awful lot. And then
I
she
do
kept
that-
threatening me.
What's your point?
It's like, now, last time I ever gave one of those opalescent people a ride.
It's just a bit rude.
Well, they're rude. People need to stop being... And also, while we're here, can you guys lay off Vice and his hat? He really likes that hat. His granddaughter made it for him.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go apologize. I
haven't said anything.
was kind of just ticked off at the moment. He didn't deserve that.
Yeah, he didn't. It was.
He didn't deserve. He doesn't deserve to have his hat talked about negatively at all anymore, right, Alt?
Alt wakes up. What?
Not
Oh,
making fun of his hat.
yeah. I love his Jimmy cap.
Oh,
It-
please.
It
Please.
feels like I was the only one who actually spoke positively of it.
No,
I'm-
it's a very fine hat. It's.
Zacna is so
Mm.
close to getting fucking condom hat new art. I promise. Like, it's so close to just...
I'm gonna go apologize to him while they're still
Yeah.
quiet.
I guess I will too. Whatever.
Alt's not apologizing.
Caram just walks back in when he sees Alt isn't following, grabs him by the back of his shirt. We're apologizing. Just
You can't make me apologize.
Caram just stops, slowly turns towards Alt. We're apologizing.
Fine.
Yeah.
Rule number 1, if you're going to start following people, well, Lockstitch on adventures, learn to make peace with people.
He does a little, like, crosses his arm, kicks his foot out. Just like, sorry you got a dick hat.
Caram just smacks him in the back of the head.
Hey! I said I was sorry!
Politely.
That
Without
sounds like a half apology.
insulting.
He does a big old curtsy. She's like, I'm sorry. Your hat's awful.
Just
know
another
what I
smack in
think?
the back of the head.
I'm just gonna
Oh.
apologize and then go back to the lower decks. Just it's kids.
Oh my god, I just saw what time it is. I gotta speed this one up, guys. We're already like halfway there.
We're
I think
only
we just hit the halfway.
Is all the cargo okay? Just after apologize, check cargo, go back downstairs.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cargo is fine. Let's get ourselves into Tefrides. Not Tefrides, Tier Loh. Once we start getting into Tier Loh, it's more like going down a river than it is like sailing in the ocean like we have been. So it's like a lot of like maneuvering, and you start like, if you're looking for big plants, here's the big plants.
Goodness.
Like Tier Loh, also known as the Wastes. As you guys are going through it, massive mushrooms on both sides. Zacna, you can see, like, keeping your eyes out for threats. You see huge monsters just lurking just outside the point, like the view. Like they're keeping themselves behind things, but you guys are being stalked. Not through the water like you've been thus far, but the coasts are not safe.
Mm.
Neat.
I honestly think Zacna is the one that should roll a 20-sided for this. Also, in the span, it'd be Zacna up again.
Well, let's see how I do. Hey!
19's real good. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let's go.
So Zacna, you see a creature that is enormous. Imagine if a black panther had 6 legs and was roughly the size of an 2 elephants human centipeding themselves. You know what I mean?
Don't.
Yeah. I do not want that image in my brain. Thank you.
The Zacna. The captain made this a 20 for you.
Oh, thank you.
How do we deter this thing from attacking the ship and teach it that ships that come down this way are not to be messed with? How do you prove to this thing that you guys are not food?
The recoilless rifles.
Do we know if it's sentient or not?
You just straight up shooting it? Just shooting at it? Just like
Shooting
really give
around
the
it.
sense-
Ooh. Maybe you could shoot one of the mushrooms.
And we're shooting for warning, correct?
Yes, that's the reason why I say shoot around it.
Mm.
for sure, like you can you blast around it and like it just immediately like jumps back. As you hit the ground around it, you see the bullets go. You're firing normal or null metal at this, that like into the
Normal.
area around it. Normal, okay. So, yeah, absolutely. As you blast through it, the underbrush and stuff, you uncover it. Like, it has less places to hide. And, like, even though this thing is absolutely huge, I think, Zacna, you're the only one on the boat that saw it initially. Like, it was so camouflage. But yeah, you go for it. What happens with it? Does it just take off into the woods? Does it, like, threaten you guys again? It's not going to attack your ship again, and it will not attack more ships on this.
It takes off.
Alright. What scared it? Was it the sound, or was it the damage?
Probably the sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, I'm down with that. And then, you guys hear Bully over the intercom be like, "That doctor's right up here, guys. You wanna, like, camp out here? I've heard he's polite."
I would like my tooth fixed, please.
Same.
My teeth
Alright.
should already have grown back in.
You guys start hearing, like, he, like, blows the foghorn a couple of times as he, like, approaches. We're approaching basically exactly where Caram said that we were gonna rest, for the record. Let me put this back here. We are approaching right there.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
I mean, still fine. We probably can get up. We can time it out.
Huh?
Friend!
Oh,
As you approach there's just a lighthouse in the middle of it, and coming out of the lighthouse is a, like, 6'7" tall dog with mushrooms growing on his ears. He's very, like, Cocker Spaniel, English Spaniel style. Like, what if Rasputin was a spaniel with, mushrooms coming out of his ears?
Hey!
And he waves.
Familiar face?
And he just Bully and his crew, like, hop. They stay on the ship. They're like, "Oh, we're good for medical attention. If you guys, and good luck, everybody." It's like, all right, we've heard that he's a good doctor.
He is.
Yep.
oh, we got some big.
Yeah, and Nicholas is standing at the top of the hill waiting for you guys. He's just like, yes. And he, like, shakes everybody's hand, like, one by one. And he, like, looks at Cash. He's like, "I don't recognize you."
Much newer to the crew. It's nice to meet you. I'm also a doctor.
Do love a good doctor.
This is Clementine's brother.
He looks at Cash for a second, and he's just like, "You don't smell of lemons."
No, thank God. No, I married into the family.
I see. And he's like, "I've heard Reedy made his appearance in this world. Are you here for another cure? What did you call it this time?"
We're here for a fix-up ourselves. Caram opens his mouth and points towards one of the missing teeth.
Oh,
Cash still refuses to take off the mask. Likewise, but mine's far more embarrassing.
he nods. He's like, come into my office." And I'm not going to switch maps for it. But, so, you go into his office, and you guys just see baskets of mushrooms all over. Like, mushrooms are growing out of his walls. He has now mushrooms for chairs. And he's like, "This world, has been highly entertaining and very good for my mushroom research. They call this place the Wastes. Can you believe it? He sits down and he's just like starts brewing up a tea that is like Caram and soap. I actually Caram can, all of you guys can see it, but he's about to feed this to Caram and Cash. He's just grating mushrooms into like hot water, like boiling water.
My question for you then: if this is a medical thing, would it have been something that I've read that Cash has read about from those texts that he was given?
It would not be, because Nicholas is a special kind of mage and a special kind of healer. Like, you can learn from him if you want to.
Oh, he'd be very interested in what he's doing. He'd just be politely standing and kind of watching what's going on, taking mental notes before later, when he has a moment to write everything down.
Like, he's like, now let it steep. And he like pushes 2 cups and like, he's like, do you 2 want some tea? Do you need your teeth grown back?
I have all my teeth, but if I would be happy to have a cup of tea.
I wouldn't recommend this if you have all of your teeth. And then he's just like, he hands you he starts making other cups. What brings you all down here? I've heard that the silver thimble has begun to grow quite miraculously. And now you put Reedy on a council.
Yeah, after what happened in Dyad, and the expansion of the thimble, we are given a seat on the council, and, well, they didn't really have anywhere else to go, so it all works out.
He's like, it should be ready. Go ahead and take a couple sips. Swish it around where you're missing those teeth, though.
Caram does it without he's seen his work before, and he knows just to do as he says.
Yash also doesn't hesitate, but since if Caram and everybody else trust him, he's not going to be against what he's being told, though he's going to be kind of half cupping his mouth to, again, hide the fact of which tooth is missing.
While they're fixing their teeth, I'm gonna let them them know, hey, we're trying to find safe trade routes so we can have a path to all these different areas, connect them together and make it safer for traveling ships.
He nods and he looks out his window. I guess that explains the cargo ship.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, these are not particularly safe waters. Like, I'm sure you've been around. I've heard of your journeys throughout the Neverglades, and I'm sure you know of the dangers of the sickened sea.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite worrisome. It's like, I recommend being incredibly careful, and if you try not to spend too much time in Tier Loh. It's just like, at my house, we are safe up here. I think it has something to do with proximity to the Silver Mountains. But in the rest of those lands, the winding paths, be careful. There are many, many dangers.
Is the tooth back now so I can see?
Oh shit. So, is it called a flyamina? Like, do you guys know the word, like that mushroom, like the red one with the white spots on it?
Yes.
Okay, so I need you to keep...
I believe it's the fly agaric, maybe?
I know it has an...
It's
one.
the fly agaric.
Okay, there we go. The very specific, that mushroom. You two both, like, Caram, it's one of your molars, and Cash, it's like one of your up front teeth. It hurts. It feels like a tooth growing in all of a sudden, but if you open your mouth and people look in, it's a mushroom growing instead of a tooth. And, like, it is bright red with white spots. Like, the stump, like, is completely like inside. The stump of it is the roots of the is the roots inside your gum line, but the mushroom itself is your tooth. And he's just like, he holds Cash's mouth open, like looks at it. He's like, yeah. He pokes it a little bit. Don't eat anything hard for a couple of weeks. Let the tooth really grow in. And he's just like, hold on. And he pulls out a file and files it down for you, Cash, so it's the right size. And he's like, okay. It's gonna look like this for a little while, which is bright red with white speckles. And it's just like, eventually the white will overtake the rest of it, and it'll become just a solid tooth.
As he's doing all that, he's just got this look in his eyes, and when he's let go, he just puts his mask back on. He's like, I'm going outside for a smoke.
No smoking! No suction! Do not use straws! Do not smoke a cigarette! And he like hands you a patch. He's just like, I created these a while ago. Back in Liminal. Back when Peanut needed them. He was such a smoker back in the day. And he hands you some patches, like nicotine patches. That are just, they look like stickers with mushrooms on them.
I'm
just gonna politely look at them before asking, can I have another cup? And he just points at Shadow. He also has the same issue.
I don't think it works on non-corporeal teeth.
We're taking stuff for Reedy's Bakery, right?
Oh yeah, Reedy's Bakery.
So we'd have some of the mushrooms in the cargo ship, right?
Mushrooms?
Isn't it? Oh no, it's bear. It's mold.
Yeah, it's the black. If I remember correctly,
I thought they were mushrooms for a second, so I was
from-
going
no.
after those.
But
no, it's mold.
They're berries contaminated with space mold.
Yeah, I'm not offering. I thought that they were mushrooms for a second. I don't know why. Thank you.
No, I understand. Like mold mushrooms, like fungus. Yeah, I get it.
Thank you, Nicholas. We'll be sure to let the crew know you're here and find a way to repay this in the future.
Oh no, it's fine. Just careful. Just like stay on this side of the river for now, especially if you're transporting worthwhile cargo.
Thank you.
Those paths are not to be trifled with. In case you guys don't know what paths I'm talking about, like if you look at Tier Loh here, all of those paths, it's called the Winding Path.
They could have called them the
boy.
loop-de-loops. What a waste.
All right, guys. I'm gonna roll Zacna's 20 into the getting past the sickened sea, just because we need to step along. But here's what the sickened sea looks like, guys.
Ugh.
Blech.
As you come out of Tier Loh, as you come out of the wastes into the open water, that's it. It's gross, and like it feels bad. Like magically, Seth, can you roll me a 20-sider so I can get you readings for both the places?
Yes.
Oof. It will tell you something. Don't worry. Like, it's not that it doesn't tell you something. Your instruments begin to crack while you're in Tier Loh. Like, if you guys have been like gathering up stuff as you like go past, I assume that you might have like you got the water in the jar, and you've got like water from all over the oceans and stuff in jars, maybe some mushroom clippings, maybe even Nicholas gave you some mushrooms. Like you see them grow like very big. They get like you got a mushroom in there, and it just grows really. It gets to about the size of a beanbag when it was tiny. It was like a normal mushroom, but it keeps growing and keeps growing. Gets to the size of a beanbag, but then like begins dripping like inky blackness onto the floor, Seth. And this happens in a matter of moments, and it begins just sloshing around, and then it lunges for you, Seth.
How big is it when it does that? Oh, you said a beanbag. Oh shit.
A beanbag. Give me 1 second. I think I might have a thing for it.
Is it iridescent like silvery?
No, it is like ink black. It is dripping. It is it's matte, so it's not glossy. This token is not going to be perfect, but it's as close as I can get.
I think he's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like lunging for you.
Since I have such a short amount of time, the most I'd be able to do is, since I assume I'd have other chemicals here too. I'd probably grab something and throw it at him. It's soundproof, so nobody's gonna hear me scream. But I am gonna grab the nearest big thing and throw it at it, including if it's a chair.
Roll me a 20-sider. Huh. Okay. Huh.
It was almost an 18.
Okay, so what's... Think I just Seth, please. I think you throw the chair at it, but you also connect with some of your instruments on the way.
Yeah.
You shatter one of your measuring tuning forks. It's definitely, we can't hear the music of the place right now. We've destroyed that. And as the chair connects with it, you just see it envelop the chair, and then just it gets a little bit bigger and just starts Katamari Damacying its way towards you. I'm gonna roll an attack for it. Don't worry, it's bad too. It is trying to engulf you. Seth, how do you avoid it perfectly fine?
I've got cephalopod parts, so I'm going to be a little slinky and go a little bit liquid and go under one of those desks on the right. I see one of those desks, and I'm going to go between those two and put an empty table between it and myself where I'm closer to the door.
Yeah, for sure. And you got away from it, and it's just you see it it doesn't have eyes, but if it did, you'd be seeing it eyeballing your instruments, specifically any of them with the liquid that is detecting magic. It is incredibly interested in those. But also you, because you have AP.
I'm gonna throw an empty vial at it and see if I can taunt it. I can't have those instruments destroyed.
Oh yeah, roll a 20-sider. No, oh, fucking amazing.
Oh, no.
We're losing this whole goddamn room, aren't we? Alright, Seth, you go to throw one of those empty vials at it in a panic. But you, as you are throwing it, you're like, wow, that vial weighs a lot for it. Oh no! As it is, you manage to throw the one with the magical oil from Tefrates at it. And you just see it go, goop, and then you hear the vial crack and then shatter as this thing begins to envelop the entire room. But you are next to the door.
Do I have any chance to grab any notebook or any? No, I don't.
No, not like that.
I am going to exit. There's nothing else I can do. I mean, there is something else. I could just stay in here and let it eat me. That is
good, but that's a bad story for Seth. I'm picturing everybody else just like chilling in the wheelhouse, being like do 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 do. Seth comes bursting through the door.
Time to run!
Guys, there's a giant monster. It's a giant slime monster that just started to exist in the room. I don't know how it got there. I swear I don't know how it got there, but it's the size of the room and it's eating all the magic.
I'm already going.
Run.
1 second here. Oh no. Okay.
What's going on with these?
That was for Bully, for the record. And the rest of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
You guys feel the ship tilt. Like, as though the ship just suddenly took on a weight of tons all of a sudden. Like, there wasn't anything in the bottom of the ship that weighed multiple tons, and now there is. And you see Bully and his crew being like, we need to get the subs to land. We need to get this at least beached as fast as we can, or we're gonna lose everything.
You guys deal with that. I'm dealing with the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Somebody put a circle on this here map. We can only make it to. This is really funny because I know we're low on time and we just get to figure out a way to end this one quicker. Where do we try to dock this thing? The closer, so if you guys are here, we're right about here. The safest, the easiest ones are going to be around here, but we know that this is some of the crab territory. We know there's some bad things over there. Safer is closer to Dendroid down here, or closer to Turmeric's outpost. Or we can make it up the river. Or I guess we could try to land on Pixel. Where do we want to try to get the ship?
I would say for this best safety, it would be best to try and land the closest port, which I think would be Dendroid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's land this ship close to Dendroid. Also, let's have Caram fight a fucking 8-ton mold monster. This thing feels terrifying, for the record. It is... None of you would have any experience with this kind of thing. My bad, everyone. Alright, Caram. You get to the bottom of the ship. I'm just gonna put it here. All of you guys can do it. All of you guys can go fight it. For a second, and here, we're here. You can either fight this thing and hold it back to help the ship land, or how else would you help the ship land? You know what I mean? If you guys have any other ways of doing it, this is for this creature attacking. It has a tough choice. It's I'm gonna give you guys this tough choice. It wants to eat. It's going to try to eat one of two cargo things. It has slept itself onto the deck. It is moving it is basically filling the underside of the ship and going up. it is going to. Cash, I'll give this one to you. It's going after your hearse,
Mm-hmm.
or it is going after or it's going after all the bakery goods.
You can always make more bakery goods. You can't always.
I
make
was
them
gonna
better.
say that bakery goods are far more replaceable.
Yeah.
I actually think that was mean. You didn't roll a 1. I wouldn't do that to you. So
I was gonna say if you
okay.
Oh, that was
want,
me.
I was gonna
I
say
mean, well, here's an alternative then for you, Alan. Since the hearse has been described as a fucking tank, I doubt something trying to envelop it would be able to actually eat it, but it would be very difficult for it to do so, but it would keep it distracted.
It'd be really hard for you to get your hearse out of this thing. This thing is huge, and I don't think we're killing it today.
Okay.
I think we're just introducing a new problem.
Is there a way that it can be baited into the water if something very magical jumps into the water?
don't you dare.
I'm gonna grab my ghost maker, which would be in up here, stored, and I'm going to taunt it. Wave the magical sword at it and let myself get close enough where it knows that I'm there, and I'm gonna try to bait it in off of the boat.
I support like this line.
I can swim kind of fast.
I'm not saying that you can't. I'm trying to like follow the. What is the like? The Ghostmaker is.
Oh, I can link it.
Do you think the Ghostmaker is more magical than everything on this ship?
Not everything, no.
Then in that way, I don't think it holds up. Like, how are you? I want to give it to you because you do got the 20, but yeah, okay, I'll give it to you.
And if need be, if it would get its attention better, I'll stab it with it, but I will have to like link you what it does.
No, like I'm good. Let's see. Like you can take that 20 and like it will jump in after you. Like you have successfully baited this thing off the ship, and you don't have to roll because you got that natural 20 with it. But it's still chasing you, and it is huge. Like it will. Go ahead.
I apologize for interrupting, but I've got to jump off my PC.
No, you're good, man. We'll get you. We're just gonna get to safety. So.
Okay. Yeah, sorry I couldn't stay the entire time. I gotta get up early for work tomorrow.
No, you good, man. Like this one went a little bit longer than I was expecting.
Yep. I will see you around.
The ship like rocks. Zacna bounces his head off the edge. It just collapses unconscious. Like as the weight of this giant creature jumps off the. Seth, I need you to give me a roll as you jump into the sickened sea. Alright, so you're able to like avoid that, like you just dive right through, like there's a gross film layer at the top, like you know how when oil is resting on the top of the ocean, you have to dive straight through that. This creature dives through it too, but you see most of that comes with it. Like the top of the sea is kind of clean now as it like approaches behind you, but I think you're fine. I think that 19 does, like, it's not tracking after you anymore, Seth. Like it is down at the bottom, much bigger, and you see it like flattening itself out. Like, and you see like a lot of the oil from the surface clinging to it.
Hey, cleaned up the ocean. how we do it. I'm gonna make sure I'm not being followed before I head back to the boat.
Oh, for sure. Like, you guys make it back onto the boat. Bully is freaking out because, like, the expanse at the bottom, you guys are taking on a ton of water.
How
And we
close
said
are
we're going
being
by
in-
Dendroid. Go ahead.
How close
Um,
are we able to until we're able to land?
Yeah, I think you guys can land, like, basically, like, crash land it right now. Wait, oh, nope, you guys didn't make it there, my bad. You're here.
We made it halfway.
Oh god.
So how long has it been in character since we left?
Probably, like, a month. 2 months, maybe?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
But don't worry, the elevator is, like, pretty close. You guys can make it. Multiple squirrels come out, see the ship. Like,
I think at this point, there's no point in hiding now that the ship is beached and the mission can't continue.
Oh, it can still continue. That boat can be fixed.
Currently can't be continued. It's put on hold until everything can be fixed, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's probably the best bet. Like, the squirrels are just like, How are we gonna fix this situation? It's just like, no. Like, we'll happily trade with you guys. We're happy to do some trading. I don't think these squirrels are squirrels that recognize the crew, so they would be willing to, like, repair the ship at a cost. But I think, like, as the ship, like, beaches itself, as the squirrels approach with, like, toolkits at the ready, we see a giant tear in the side of the ship from where the creature became, like, absolutely huge, and it let in a lot of water. Like, this one's gonna cost you. This one's gonna be a pricey endeavor. And yeah, the screen just, like, does the, like, fade to black with, like, to be continued situation.
Great job, me. Great job, everybody. We did a good job. Gonna get fired.
You guys were doing just fine until the dice decided to betray you.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, we didn't lose any of the merchandise. Like, all we did was we had the ship damage because, like, Seth, like, just jumped into the water. It saved the ship from, like, this thing would have tried to eat all of them. Okay, and then what were the rolls that created? Oh, okay, it was a 3, a 4, then me rolling a 5 for it attacking, but then Seth rolling a 1. So it was 2 failures, then a catastrophe that sunk the ship. And no, it was 3 failures in the catastrophe because I'm counting my failure for Bully into that. So don't you worry, Bully was also a bad pilot. But yeah, so you guys, you know the dangers of this path now. I will do a real quick recap for us, just so we can figure out what happened there. So we started a delivery mission today at the Silver Thimble, and then from there we sailed perfectly fine through the Silver Mountains. We made it through. Got attacked by literal ghosts in Folksong. Realized that the fairies of Obsession have massive, like, two things about the fairies. They're massively more powerful than they were before, but now they are also, like, but also, they love Seth's teeth. We saw an amazing beachfront resort, and also a giant creature that stands multiple stories tall that is not a threat as long as you are not a threat. People are living inside crystals, apparently. There's a giant tree. There's also tons of little trees. We learned that Nicolas is hanging out in Tier Loh, and giving people teas that regrow their teeth, but as mushrooms at first. The Sickened Sea is very dangerous, and a strange fungus type thing decided to attack Seth after it grew massively large, and then it appeared to become corrupted by something. We are unable to figure out what the corruption was. Then further setbacks had Seth's entire research laboratory consumed by a giant spreading fungus. We set that loose in the Sickened Sea as we beached ourselves right outside of Dendroid, and we have not found a safe path all the way to Haven yet. And that is where this game ends. I still think it was a great game. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, God
Yeah,
damn.
no, it was fun.
I had a lot of fun.
That just got weird. Man.
Definitely gonna take a shower as fast as I can to get the Sickened Sea off of me.
That is fair.
So yeah, that is it until Friday, everybody. Great, literally, just great job for everybody. You guys killed it. Even if the rolls are bad, I like when you guys roll with it. That's one of my favorite things. Just let the rolls be bad and still have a lot of fun with them. That is, if nothing else, what I want. The main thing that I want. All right, so Friday we have D20 Rock, everybody, and I've been looking forward to this game for a bit now. This is because of Warlord getting the D20 card. He wanted it as Uncle James has $1 million idea, and it's a spaghetti western. This is Uncle James running it. This is not Liminal TV. This is not this is not Holt. This is Uncle James and the Flamingos starting up their own television network. Starring Cass, Flynn, Uncle James is putting himself in this movie, and Valentina. So that game's going to be crazy, so I hope everybody's excited.
Sure to be a good time for everyone.
I look forward to it.
You know what? For Cass,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm 90% sure Cass is going to be furious the whole time.
I'm really looking forward to it.
If I can be put in a giant clam, Cass can be in a fucking spaghetti western.
He's basically going to be put in Woody's outfit from Toy Story. It's like, do I really have to say it? Say it. There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah!
He said it!
Say the line, Cass.
If he says high noon at any point, I'm gonna lose my shit.
I absolutely can't wait.
So thank you all so much for playing, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday.
Now we're gonna heck off, so we'll see y'all then. Bye forever. Say
Good
goodbye, guys.
night!
Goodbye forever.
Bye.
In the celestial sea where stars align, Lockstitch will go where wonder lies. Its specialist crew a beacon of light will work to unravel secrets entwined. enchantress cast. Starborne Melody echoes in the deep, an ancient history, now our secrets to keep. Sail on a siren with feathers adorned, seeks to maintain her graceful form. A voice that weaves sails across the sky, relaying the dreams that never die. Rennick the brain with numbers and might, four arms, four eyes in the cosmic night. Stoic and with numerical grace, in Lockstitch's crew he has found his place. Starborne Melody echoes in the deep, an ancient history, now our secrets to keep. Pollux and Castor, the skillful pair,